I will begin with the backdrop, which will give the context and the background needed to understand the main topic, ancient Manipur. After setting the stage, I will move to the main topic, ancient Manipur, focusing on three areas. Trade route. Here we will discuss the Southern Sea route, the ancient horse route, and the various routes connecting Manipur. And the second, the archaeological evidence. Here we will discuss the sector-urban culture and the recent discovery of 11 safe Rampart, Manipur Valley, and the text and literary sources. Here, finally, I will briefly discuss the literary text sources. Next slide. Manipuri backdrop. See, here can background dragon boat. Sivika manuscript in the Manipur State Archives. Let's start with the questions. In what way is Manipur often misinterpreted geographically? School misconception geography. Question slide. Let's do a Google book search. Manipur is situated in the northeastern corner of India. Yeah, every book when even Manipur is situated in the northeast corner of India. And I'm gonna search story and then like me I am a and then corner of northeast India, landlocked. Manipur has often been referred to as corner and landlocked. This is what we have been taught and have believed for the last 76 years. I bring this up in this lecture because it has shaped the way we perceive our history. It has internalized the notion that we occupied an insignificant position in both Asia and global history. Mashna Manipal shared his thought in his Facebook post, shown on the left. But screenshot. This is a kind of messaging we should resist. Manipur is not a landlocked state. Manipur and this entire region has been the pathway of people, animal, object, and the culture, moving from east to west and vice versa. Manipur, after Manipur joining India in 1949, it has consistently framed and very terrorized as a border state, not to mention how it was reduced to a security buffer zone, psychologically landlocked. We need to decolonize such special metaphor. Manipur is at the intersections of the South, East and Southeast Asia. It is also the far east of the South Asia and the northwest of the Southeast Asia, nicknamed the gateway to Southeast Asia, where you will find an average person listening to multiple regional music, as well as Hindi, English, Korean, and Chinese. Heidi, Ayamba Manipur is portrait of the landlocked corner of Northeast India. Chinebayamba, we can do Horayamba, we Pemberton, Northeast frontier of the British Empire. I do like to the Horayamba 1918, around 1933. So let's reshape our narrative. Asia is commonly divided into 6 major regions. Manipur lies at the confluence of 3 major Asian regions: South Asia, East Asia, and South Asia. Indic society and Civic society village. Ayamba senior scholar Indic society and Civic society further research society village. South Asia, East Asia, and Southeast Asia. Next slide. Strategically, positions between mainland India, Bangladesh, Burma, and China, Manipur is a melting pot of culture, geopolitics, and a vital link between these regions. Let's take a look at the recent development in this region. The Bangladesh, in China, India, Myanmar, BCIM economic corridor was a proposed link connecting India, Myanmar, Bangladesh, and China through Manipur. In 2015, China suggested including it in the BRI, with India boycott. By 2019, the BCIM was excluded from BRI official list of project. Despite Indians' effort to keep it intact, the corridor was eventually abandoned due to worsening in Sino-Indian relations. The proposed corridor aimed to cover 1.65 million square kilometer. Although Sigi BCIM gi matangda journalist amana mana thamgiba 2013 gi kano ma da haitare CCIM focused on happening. Leaders hope the economic corridor will harken back the days of the ancient Silk Road and its southwestern trade route, which represent the shortest journey between China and India and serve as a highway to the Chinese merchant transporting gold and silver bullion in the 12th century. Next slide. Sina main topic kadi kitangdi haidu evo si ado sina topic 2 important further Manipur gi backdrop se khang na bagi topic kha tham mani ko Siliguri corridor laira the Indian gi Kaladan project laira Sidway project aduga Sino Myanmar pipeline laira deep water port aduga Sidway da aduga Indo-Pacific regions Indo-Pacific region si amaru eba very hot topic wa geopolitics or Manipur backdrop. Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first prime minister, predicted in 1946 that the Pacific will become the world's nervous system. It is likely to take the place of the Atlantic in the future. The Indo-Pacific is now a region of rapid economic growth and is home to many of the world's largest economy. Okay, here. Clarification of portraying Manipur as the northeastern corner of India. Historian Malam Nitauja, in his lecture given in ARCLA on July 2023, he said, in the Second War, all the nations came here in India and fought one of the most fierce battles here. How can we say Manipur is a corner? It is a geopolitical hotspot. This is Mamangi Sahida Malam Mana lecture piram bata haram baneva. Geopolitical epicenter. Manipur is a geopolitical epicenter. Okay. Imphal is chapter in world history. Sigi Battle of Imphal world history that is a very big chapter. Heidi Chida Japanese land quite one of the some around 53,000 Sigi Bamangiva. See Imphal ga Kohima was Imphal is a very big chapter in the world history. Battle of Imphal and Kohima fought between 8 March and 18 July 1944. This battle was the turning point of one of the most challenging campaign of the Second World War. The decisive Japanese defeat in Imphal and Kohima became the springboard for the 14th Army subsequent reconquest of Burma. The Japanese 15th Army, 85,000 strong, eventually lost 53,000 dead and missing. The British sustained 12,500 casualties at Imphal, where the fighting at Kohima caused them another 4,000 casualties. Manipur is a corner ne hire aduga landlock ne hire aduga global culture me amadagi mi atopa world ga samnada mafam ne na protect tawina for the last 75 years 80 years. But in fact aduga history is the high tare Second World War every nation gi mi am ji Manipur da lam ga lan su da gi sigi keno sida Second World War adugi slide amount tamda. And this concludes the backdrop. Now let's move to our main topic, framing ancient history. Methodological framework. Now let's develop a methodological framework to study the ancient history of Manipur. In order to study the ancient history of Manipur, it is essential to adopt a multidisciplinary methodological framework focusing on 3 primary areas in parallel. The trade route, Maruina Southern Sea route, SSR, the second, archaeological evidence, and third, text and literary sources. This framework is not fixed and final. Where this area provides a fundamental structure, we can also explore other topics such as language, polo, ritual, songs, and others. Hi, I see the polo. I see. Polo se birthplace of polo se who's the birthplace of modern polo hai Manipur se. But ancient matam de polo se world different areas sanami Balti de sanai, Iraq de sanai, Iran sanami, China sanami, Mongolia, even Burma. Aduga mafam ayama de ancient matam da yama sanami ba. Adu sigi polo gi through the gaya polo gi through the we history is track the we ai ayama si polo sanami mafam sing je southern route ki lambi sida ayam not southern, not only southern route, ancient route ki mafam da ayam we remember. Through polo we can study our ancient history too, right? Aduna isi polo si bakha thamja na hai. But nasi topic go di only this three topic southern route ne adagi archaeological evidence ne and text sources. We don't focus story. Aham the southern route. The Silk Road are often pictured as a land route connecting northern China, Central Asia, India, the Iranian plateau, southern Russia, and East Asia. The extent of this interaction is shown by artifacts such as Roman coin in South India, Greek amphorae around its coast, and Indian ivory figurine in Pompeii. Another important route linked to this network was the Southern Silk Route, which connected Yunnan in China to India through Manipur and Myanmar. In other Southeastern Asia region, it linked China's Yunnan region to Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, and where maritime route connected southern China to the Gulf of Thailand, the Strait of Malacca, and India. Nakangi pictures in a Pompeii da phangi have a figure in it. Aduga Nakangi sina just a sample southern South China da phangi have a Roman gi coin do Nakanagi habis. Hari two-way route where me have. The walls ancient matam the interconnected where me have. Closer and they all interconnected through this ancient route. Route to the reconstruction is square tamisina in the Manipur area, southern route department. Ancient horse road. I southern route another name, another route, another road. Samnagar road. Lambi yum sila kami masih dat Chamana Sanggon Puraga lalolam bam from haida. Maruin Himalayan range ka Yunnan province to Tibet connector from have a ago. The ancient horse road was another southern Silk Road network of overland trade routes connecting the tea producing regions of China, especially Sichuan and Yunnan, to Tibet and other regions in Southeast Asia, including India and Nepal. Its primary function was the trade of tea from China to Tibet or Kham and other area, as well as the exchange of horse, particularly Tibetan ponies, and other goods such as salt and medicine herb. It existed from at least the Tang dynasty and continue into the 20th century. When we talk about Kham, it springs to mind of the story of Oriental migration from Kham. Kham se Khamnung dagi Oriental migration. You what is the migration history da yam popular over Manipur ki puyada Oriental control hai dam lei je. Sida dil taramba subject ne Kham dagi. Adu even hai Kham je akoina even see about hai tare. Meitei ne see base origin dagi hale ka hai dana koi Khamnung sawa ka hai dana. Hai Kham dagi koi Kham dai lai adu Kham da hangi ni da. Shigi mythology, legend, and oral history je we where the control have like amada reporter or thanam. Adu na feda ina sida sanana panjali se aduga. Another aduga secharong gumba wada. Sina can we version dune sina 1891 the Maxwell na ahanda secharong gumba English translate to halamada. Adugi version dai lauthro pani sina. According to the court chronicles, in 1729-30, some Chinese people came to Manipur with 3 Chinese horses: the Lost Kingdom, edited L.J. Kumar, 1994. Okay, here. South and Southeast Asians two-way trade. Two-way trade between India and Southeast Asia date back to the prehistoric time, with Indic culture, Hindu and Buddhist culture influence becoming evident by the mid-first millennium AD, spreading religious practice, monuments, script, and language. For example, sites such as 12th century Angkor Wat, Cambodia, 8th, 9th century Borobudur, Indonesia, 13th to 15th century Sukhothai, Thailand, and 7th to 12th century Po Nagar Tower, Vietnam, 7th century Sivajaya, Indonesia, 8th century Paharpur Buddhist Vihara and Mahastanga, Bangladesh, and 2 BC to 11th century Piu city-state in Bahama illustrate the diverse site interconnecting by this historical trade and cultural roots, both land and sea roads. Angkor lere, Borobudur lere nakanda, Sukhothai, Vietnam lere, Siva Vijaya, Amasina Mahastanga, Bangladesh ki Paharpur Buddhist Vihara lere. Bilateral cultural flow between India and Southeast Asia. Many view it as a one-way flow. Highly, Indian culture, Buddhist culture, Hindu culture, the Indic culture say I am a Southeast Asia. Only one-way flow ne I am a weaver. Sigi, she's a misconception. She around the Wakalone. I see the example Korean. Many view it as a one-way flow, believing that only Indian culture is Southeast Asia, and that the culture and religions of India were the only ones to spread there in ancient time with nothing exchanged in region. This perspective is misguided. The term Ganga, one of the holiest rivers in India, is derived from the Thai or Tibeto-Brahmin word Khong, which means river. The word river is also found in a Sino-Tibetan Thai language as Khong, as in Mekong. The Meitei language uses tu and a Khong to refer to river, that is Khongman. Example, the Khongman. The practice of betel nut chewing originated in Southeast Asia, where the betel nut plant is native. It spread to India. Even today, betel nuts are smuggled from Southeast Asia to India through Manipur and by sea route. India is quite the holiest river. Ganga se Sino-Tibetan Tibeto-Brahmin ki wahi Khong haibadune. Adudagi thokibanewa. Aduga akhoi Kwagi culture, Saki culture yam laireba akhoi Southeast Asia dagi natraga Manipur gi from dagi sakraga India da huzik practice tawriba haise. An example currently haidi thainigi kenoda. See betel nut smuggling from Myanmar to India. Because I could the flows illegally. Booms in battle, betel nut smuggling from Myanmar to India. Assam flooded with smuggled betel nut. Let's see what various scholars say about ancient route connecting Manipur. Since the 2nd century BC, China used trade route through Burma. British historian G.E. Harvey, in his book History of Burma, published in 1925, write 2 routes were along the Irrawaddy and Salween River, the third down the Chenwin River and through Manipur. Take the caravan a 3-month journey to Afghanistan, where the silks of China were exchanged for the gold of Europe. Professor Yan Cheng of Peking University, in his book The Maritime Silk Road and the Cultural Communication Between China and the West, write the Chinese merchant traded silk for local goods such as that, ivory, and gold. This route connected Sichuan through Yunnan to Burma, India via Manipur on horseback, and Afghanistan, linking the overland southern Silk Route to the maritime Silk Road. Hello, Rancham.
Rancham. Now, unmute we are unmute we are with mute to view lecture session manung about.
I voice for the
Oh, tie down. We participant mute among the
okay.
voice for lane.
She doesn't noise to she doesn't noise cannot over.
Comment voice breaking when you have it.
Okay. My human paduna problem. Okay, next slide. I have 2nd century, 2nd century BC. Since 8th century CE, a trade route connecting the capital of PU city state with Manipur. PU state, Bamagi, Ariba city state, World Heritage Site, where there was a the city say, Moise secondary burial Tarumba, it is Sapusava, which is sectarian mine. ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯃꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯂꯣꯟꯁꯤꯁꯨ ꯂꯨꯏꯁ ꯂꯦꯡꯒ꯭ꯋꯦꯖ ꯉꯥꯡꯉꯤ ꯂꯣꯏ ꯂꯦꯡꯒ꯭ꯋꯦꯖ ꯉꯥꯡꯉꯦꯅ ꯂꯦꯡꯒ꯭ꯋꯦꯖ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯃꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯑꯌꯥꯝꯕ ꯄꯦꯄꯔ ꯄꯨꯊꯣꯛꯈ꯭ꯔꯦ ꯑꯗꯣ ꯁꯤꯒ ꯀꯅꯦꯛ ꯇꯧꯔꯝꯕꯒꯤ ꯊꯥꯏꯅꯒꯤ ꯑꯦꯟꯁꯤꯌꯟ ꯃꯇꯝ 8th century CE ꯑꯗꯥꯏꯗ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯤ ꯃꯇꯥꯡꯗ ꯈꯤꯇꯪ ꯏꯔꯝꯕ ꯄꯦꯄꯔꯅꯤ ꯁꯤꯗ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯄꯨꯊꯣꯛꯆꯔꯤꯁꯦ. According to Professor Elizabeth Moore in her paper interpreting PU material culture, at the end of the 8th century, a route is described from Yongchang, modern-day Baoshan, Yunnan, to the PU capital, then going up to Kimin and Manipur. She said, the sounds I am a currency received. Not only sounds, even Africa had she called it currency in the tiny ancient person. The king of Manchu reopened trade with India via Manipur in 700.
Around 15 seconds maybe join back set up minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Hello. Rencham. Arwa.
Oh, tayang.
Oh, then sorry.
Okay.
Why is it mutpago? Ani makai dai muti lak.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Almost 60.
Okay. All right. Video the muta ai video log phone. Okay.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Video lagi. Oh, see the harm. Pew state later. Yunan lagi Pew state 2 Manipur. See 8th century the connector me Manipur. Aduga see root sida kauli akhoi likon sina currency orami. Similar aduga. Geopolitical influence disappeared from the Lower Burma during the course of the 8th century, leaving the Mon in the uncontested control. When the ruling chief of Nancho, Kolofeng, reopened trade with India in the late 700, the route proceeded not down the Irrawaddy Valley, but by the Chinwin Valley and the Manipur, or to the Arakan and the ARCLA. As I shitway, as I Kaladan project, he shitway from the Manipur through the route anida Kolofeng India trade to route open door may have. Next slide. Trade route between 1200 to 1500 CE. Economic historian John Dial, in his chapter, The China Connection, Problem in Silver Supply in Devil, Bengal, identified 3 major land routes connecting Yunnan and Upper Burma to Bengal between 1200 and 1500 CE. One of these routes followed the Salwi River, crossed the Irrawaddy at Tagong, traveled along the Chinwin Ningthi River, and crossed the Imphal Pass in Manipur into Imphal. From Imphal, it provided access to Bengal through Tripura. Professor Binyan, in his paper Horses, Silver, and Kauli Yunnan in a global perspective, also write the same. Around the year 1250 CE, a Chinese force arrived in the present-day Manipur Valley. They settled in a valley called Susakameng, village called Susakameng, and introduced silk culture to Manipur. Sina Johnston gida Yaman. Sigi sana kangen gi putopom lambi se Manipur power me have Sigi John Dial na yam hives do magi say he 1200 to 1500 CE swida. Sigi route Masisum dum sana putopogi active wediba illegally haitare. Manipur ancient gold route continue to operate illegally still today. Still all my later. Sahi budingi sana power moregi route ayama sana power Paul me on the screenshot or happen. Heidi tiny 12th century, 15th century, 16th century route was actually active poem. Gold is the biggest contraband from Myanmar. The first stop is Imphal, from where gold is sent out by road through Dimapur in Nagaland and Silchar in Assam, and then by rail and air to Kolkata or New Delhi. From this point, it distributed to other part of India. One clarification on the historical misconception. Gold gi harakanda kuigi Anglo-Manipuri Treaty 1762 sise Manipur da kuigi treaty map da taruk subne kuigi South Asia da East Indian Company ga treaty donabas. Sigi map sigi treaty sida Manipur gi gold mine Brahmaputra gi river da gold mine lai si Manipur gi raja gi property ni irame ado. See the historian who scholars can one of the misconception of Malay. Brahmaputra is Brahmaputra and I am a but in actually she's a Brahmaputra is not there. Chinwin River in it actually referred to the Ningthi River, where gold was found. In the 18th century, after the King of ARCLA, King of Manipur, converted to Hinduism, the Ningthi Chingwi River was given the Hindu-ized name Brahmaputra. This was reflected in the 18th century court literature of Manipur. Sigi akoi Sarosnalini parrot ki Chichang Kubabi translation. Karibini was Ningthi to Renovana Siva Masanapan Halaga, although Chichang Kumbaba the Eve. Garibini was Maharaja along with his son were killed by the bank of the Brahmaputra River. Iraman. Ado si Brahmaputra se. Is in company Fakir Nehirdas Gosai, account of Manipur 1763. Aina Kanbashina is in company Han but Manipur account winning Kale. Is in company Namagi, Mogi Fakir, Mogi Azen, Nehirdas Gosai in Manipur the Tarami 1763, 1762, 61. So the Moji around 6 months later, Bemale, Sigi Telanga, Horan Karilla, Aduga Moise, Telanga informant Aije. The Telangana Lanmi is in company gave a hamba Mugi regiment Telanganagi populations here. I don't know Moise, Sigi Nehirdas was high, Manipuda is in company Lanmi sings Manipuri or a missing treaty Matanga. Magi Ekama, Irameva, 1763. Adugi screenshot and Tamis. One of the earliest is in the company Akong Manipur. She the Brahmaputra Manipur is the Brahmaputra lay in E. Aduna Brahmaputra say Hindu nice Niti Rivergi, Mingama with a mail. Karigino had the Matamdu the 17th and 18th century, people believe that the present day Brahmaputra and the Ningti river originated from the same source. It is likely that for this reason, both rivers were referred to as Brahmaputra by the Hindus. Chiripsi map city and view, Matata Pigi, Brahmaputra, Chinwin, Iravadi, Adu Salvin River, same lake Kamalay and a Kalemana, Adu lake to the pull up Horapute and Tina, 17th century, the projector. Aduna Brahmaputra, River, River Kataniana, Columbus, you have a tiny here. 17th, 18th century ski Hindus, man. Meant to pick the video highway was a bit clarification from Brahmaputra. The route in the 1760s between Manipur, China, and Burma, according to Nehirdas Gosai, Akong of Manipur, 1763. In former times, some Chinese commodities used to be brought from Burma, but at present they have no dealing with them. It is to be a month journey from Manipur to Shiogo. And this account clearly mapped the road connecting Kasar to Imphal. Sina Manipur agent Haridas Gosai account the road from Kaspur to Manipur, 1763. Sina agent, Manipur agent Haridas Gosai, Magi account in the Kasari Manipur, Gilambi se Fazana Pyramid Magi account. Sina 19th centuries, in the late 19th centuries, there were 32 routes in Manipur connecting to Burma and Assam. British official E.W. Dunn, in his book Gazetteer of Manipur, published in 1896, identified 32 routes in Manipur connecting Burma and Assam. Sigi Magi route Mamjet, when you open to pull up the half only 15 of them half over Sigi route. Summary of findings. The Silk Road was always dynamic, constantly evolving over time as new states emerged, trade and religious demand grew, and scholar and pilgrim travel. The route adapted and diversified. The excavated site of sector urban culture on the bank of the River in Manipur is a remnant of ancient state that once flourished in 200 BCE and 600 CE along the southern Silk Route. This concludes the southern Silk Route. Now let's move on to the second topic. Archaeological evidence. Archaeological evidence. Sector urban culture, 200 BCE to 600 CE. A journey through the discovery of sector urban culture. A journey to the discovery of the sector urban cultures. It all started in 1960. Nauri Kapa Ngamana. Usek mahal ada usek si cingmai ang tasangre aduga lerak am tasangre aduga usek si khun balak pada Sigi kenosi phangbanewa. Sigi golden marks am phangbanewa. It all started in 1889 with this discovery of the gold marks human skull on the slope of the Thumkhongsing Hill in Sekta, Imphal. A village boy with a slingshot made the discovery. The story is now told as local legend. It is said that the boy, whose name remains unknown, killed a bird, and the bird fell into a crack in the earth on the hill slope. While retrieving his hunt, he reached into the crack and instead found a box containing a human skull covered with the gold marks along with other gold utensils. Next slide, the utensils. An artifact. Surprised, he called his family member, and together they took the artifact and reportedly distributed them among themselves. Later, the state authority became aware of the discovery, intervened, and recovered the artifacts. It is comparable with the discovery of terracotta warrior of Xi'an by a farmer digging well in 1974. Authority intervened and recovery report 1989-90 ASI report is my area. The gold marks human skull along with necklace, bracelet, and a bronze vessel were found buried inside 3 big pots. The archaeological material and the site have, however, been extensively damaged by villagers in their search for hidden treasure. The material was later recovered from the villager and is now in the custody of the Manipur State Museum. Adugi fangiba human skull to ne adu Thumkhongsing sector previously gold marks adi gold lapok male AK Sharma mai like the gold sedum yarum drill sector secondary drill site. In March 1990, MC Joshi, Joint Director General of Archaeology Survey of India, sent archaeologist A.K. Sharma to visit Imphal to examine the gold marks human skulls recovered from the Lamboy Hill in Imphal West and from the slope of the Tumbi Hill near Sekta village in Imphal East. He recalled in his report that they were unique and most outstanding find. His main job was to examine the morphological character of the skull and to give a report on the finding. He visited Sekta, the mount on the left hand of Iril. It was in the vicinity of the hill slope of Sekta from where gold marks human skull and other antiquities were recovered. After 1 year in March 1991, archaeologist Sharma excavated Sekta Mount in a joint venture with the State Department of Archaeology and ASI. In 1994, he published his report of Sekta excavation under the title Manipur, the Glorious Past, 1994 the moment. See findings from young university. A.K. Sharma the study the gold marks right side is in Ahamada, Lamboy Singer from about 1980s. Aduga Anishuba, Akuigi Sektagi Thumkhongsing from 1989 from Basiga. Aduga Sig excavation, Sekta excavation, Lorgasina corner from 1999. Sina Cheroxing the company. Manipur gold marks Ahum Pangyosi, but the archaeology case of ASI came to Manipur to examine the gold mark skull found in 1980 and 1990 at 2 different locations in Imphal. A third gold mark skull was unearthed in 1999. The gold burial marks excavated from Manipur in 1980, 1989, and 1999 have never been studied academically. We don't find a single academic paper on these findings. Say 40 yung sure fang is Hanba, Lamboy Ching Fangba, and then Sektada, 1999 the Fangba Siga. Adungasiwa was he Matang the any research papers lately. Scientific studies lately. Can also talk gold body, gold or metal would test over, and then Magi Sahi, Magi carbon dating it over there. I manning the background of we will book the Kazala Yang with the sea, come to talk there. Yaduki screenshot on Tamaga ceremonies. Or seen a reconstruction of gold burial marks sketched by Yonam Sapan and imagined or restructured over. Reconstruction tower. Gold burial marks has been discovered in a few locations worldwide. Picture I am from the Fangde, very few locations the Katan Fangi. Fangi from Singdi, Greece, Egypt, Peru, Mexico, Mongolia, Hadaki, Xinjiang in China, Manipur, Tibet, Cambodia, Thailand, Philippines, Java, Indonesia, Colombia, Iraq, Kazakhstan, Bulgaria, Vietnam, Nepal, Mustang, Shima from the Katang, gold burial marks. Global map showing map site where gold burial marks were excavated. Limited area that happened from this. Whole Indian subcontinent from there. China does a report away. The Tibet Tamatawi, those in Nepal, Manipur Kanang the Tibet and Nepal, Vietnam, Cambodia, South Asia region. Many believe that the gold marks excavated from Manipur were not indigenous or native to Manipur, but rather foreign. Some argue that they were buried during the Burmese invasion in the 18th-19th century or brought by the Burmese for some reason. The Burmese did not practice masking at that during the 18th-19th century, and no gold mark skull have been reported from Burma. I will describe this phenomenon as most likely resembling Stockholm syndromes, where we have internalized the belief or values that what we possess is somewhat less significant than that of others. This internalized belief or inferiority could stem from the long history of operations. This is completely debunked when copper-marked skulls were excavated from various periods in Sector Burial Mound. This is also this also reflects some kind of historical anachronism. Sina kui candy, kui sector da fangi bane, sector ing asagi gold marks to fangi na yo. Gold candy. Sector secondary burial site. According to A.K. Sharma, when he visited Manipur and surveyed the Imphal Valley, he noted that a number of archaeological sites were located on the bank of the Iri River. In Sector, there are 6 visible secondary burial mounds. One of them was excavated in 1999. The purpose of the excavation at Sector was to understand the early history of Manipur. Visible 6 mounds in there, Mount number 1. The burial mound Sector before excavation during the photo, colorized version, black white. Microficher Lisham Kunjeshwari, Nakanalepi, along with her students of Manipur University and archaeologist A.K. Sharma at Sector in 1999. Her students were volunteering in excavation, and one of them, Warangton Santirani, is also microficher. Important features. 1991 excavation, the important features, Number 1, the urn burial of 7 period were encountered, or the urn burial from every period are secondary burial. In the largest urn, human remains such as skull fragments, teeth, pieces of long bone, and other broken pieces were placed along with funeral goods. Also, the human skull covered with marks of very thin copper plate inside a big jar were excavated. Other artifacts include porcelains, flower vases, cup, tinkle, terracotta glass, and stone bit. Indo-Pacific bit chupang manegosida. A bronze relic casket, typically of Buddhist origin, from a burial period 5. Period 5C. A.K. Sharma comparative studies 11 BC to 200 BC orang ani magi like palle. Sina port burial form the different period to lay structures. Close view of the single burial. Nakan gil right kisina mi ama katang pumbagi kanon photograph ni. Copper mark skull. All the human skulls recovered from the port had copper marks covering them. Such skulls were found from period 5 to period 7. No such skulls with marks have been reported from any site in India. With respect to the discovery of marks, human skull in Manipur occupied an important position in India. Bronze vase with a copper mark skull. So my right to is copper marks. Right to is a chafumun yung copper marks of Pumamadu Mawong the left left to is na the right to is na amuksi jum doroga nantopa photo ne copper marks. Mamit ki paase uren atun ki paat uren manai paat uren. Pottery se makan lunch na fangi red ware, black ware, grey ware. Oh, she's important. The Indo-Pacific picture. And the 2021 phone Sunil Gupta magi paper up we see sovereign route the Indo-Pacific picture from India dagi sector 2 Burma to Yunnan Yorambagi magi report ama form the matang. It's a bronze ring. The sina kui bronze tinklet. Kongji umagi. Sin kudok kumba. Human skull. This is a very interesting one. Chinese porcelain bowl painted in blue with a pagoda pattern and a cone shell pattern inside. Excavated from Sektai Imphal in 1999. Mapangi parchina pagoda gi momanba yekpa aduga manungsina kuigi kariwa sigise kuigi moibungi yemba Chinese porcelain maphangneba sina yung yekthokpane sigi yam interesting part the sigi porcelain je hujik chu eBay gumba adigi auction various kuigi antique yom phamsingda yam common when phangeba sigi same pattern je. Similar porcelains tea bowl from the 15th century Ming period have been discovered and collected worldwide. This pattern appeared to have been highly popular with numerous export quality pieces produced during the Ming dynasty. Even today, such antique porcelain frequently appear in auctions and various platforms. Here are the photographs sourced from eBay. Oh, sorry. Sina hujiki manava British Museum collection again sina. She's Ming dynasty. Haidi sina ta kudi sector se Ming period thread route and connector mi jeta haitare. Aduga AK Sharma ki 1991 ki excavation je loy matungda 1994 da mu archaeologist Okram Kumar Singh OK Singh da mu excavation tawi. Adudagi lebak 1.40 meter tok thoga Sarugi sample Maloroga carbon dating tauki. Carbon dating jita pangisi period between 1580 to 1880. Haidi sigi era gi matam jam sang manego 150 years way manego. That's in 1994 tau manego. Sina muk nasai iril turen mapanda adi iril turen mapanda excavation tau region sai sekta katang na tawa from sina 2012 the professor Laksam Kunjesuri ga aisha mak yawi si tau gi bada iril turen mapangi moirang kampu sajep the excavation am tau gi winter da aduna phang se mathak ta right to river se yam maru we ne koi tripod vessel li mai stand am phangi adu pottery akai ba myam phangi adu full of pottery di phang re lan kai re adum pham do low na pham ne adu ga fit khara tok thok pada phangi se nakan gi se right to river se sangon gi poni gi saru se phangi makok ka masal se tokan tongan taramba gi mong do saru gi part ore la koi kano side se koi right side se bronze casket relic casket of Buddhist origin. The most important find in the sector excavation is a bronze relic casket, typical of Buddhist origin from a burial period 5, 100 BC to 200 C. A similar casket made of silver was found in 1980 from Lambo Missing, Jingweirong, Imphal, along with the gold marks human skull and other gold and silver antiquities, which is now housed in the Manipur State Museum. Left Kishina, Sektaragi Fangba, period number 5 Tagi, Aduga, right Kishina, Lamboising the Fangba. Evidence of the Buddhism in a valley can be found in Sekta in the form of bronze rail casket from period 5, dated back to 11 BC to 200 CE. This suggests that Buddhism may have reached the Manipur Valley around the start of the Christian era or even earlier. The discovery at Sekta is not the only evidence. A similar silver casket, along with other artifacts, was found in 1980 during the land leveling and lamboising in Imphal. This artifact included a silver hollow horse with a long spout emerging from its neck and the extended part of its mouth, and the umbrella on a cylindrical stand placed on the horseback, a gold marked human skull, and a piece of silver fly wicks handle. The gold marks were decorated with a silver bell, semi-precious stone, and a coral bit. Another similar artifact, a gold horse with an umbrella on its back, were excavated in 1999 from Chirauchen. Buddhist artifact found at 4 different locations in Manipur Valley. Was in 1990 the found Sanagi Mark skull punna lamboising an issue was in a bronze relic casket China sectari found 1991 excavation, and the third in a silver horse with the umbrella symbolizing the Buddha renunciation, excavated along with a gold mark skull from lamboising 1980 the found Marishu was in a gold horse with an umbrella, symbolized the Buddha renunciation, excavated with gold marks skull from Serauching in 2000s. See artifact Marima gold and copper marks of Punna Fangi. It appears from this archaeological evidence is that Manipur was also swayed by the wave of Buddhism much earlier, say around the beginning of the Christian era, when this religion was spreading to what it is. Due to some reason or other, no archaeological evidence in the form of Buddhism monastery, vihara, and stupa have come to light. Of course, it could be argued that this lacuna may be partly due to the absence of detailed exploration in Manipur, particularly Yusef Valley as such valley were generally light by the Buddhists for the establishment of monastery and vihara. See, Sermon 1994 after the discovery of the 6th burial mound, one question arises: where did the Sekta people settle, and who were the people with the copper and the gold marks? 1991 1994 secondary burial site maktaneva aduna haiba meeting je kada lairangani haba question ama hangba yai. 22 years after sector excavations, the discovery of the 11 mandalas of mud rampart in Manipur Valley. Manipur ki mafum taramathui da mandala ki mawung manba sef manba rampart actually 4 thainaba taramathui ji report da lay amam de yeng ji bo si ja. Ahmad Maglang 2013 the discovered is now protected by the state. An issue with a star chef rampart on the bank of Semai River, first reported by Rajeshwar Yumnam in 2013. Adimatang the square chef rampart in Sekmai, Sisu Rajeshwar Yumnam in 2021. The square chef rampart at Sekmai, Sisu Rajeshwar Yumnam the report of Niahan 2021. The mangas of the square chef rampart in Fuzru 1, Fuzru Sina Ishana Toguni 2018 the report of next is Fuzru 2. Square chef rampart in Fuzru 2. First reported by Ishan Toguni in 2018. The Tarechu with the square chef rampart at Herakuk Mopal. Ishan 2018 the report of him. Nippon over the square chef rampart at Sango Mangimo. Sisu 2018 the report of him. And Mapan over the Kaino Dama. Sisu 2019 the report of him. Around 10 the star chef rampart in Hongren Si star shape na si sorry si square shape rampart and Nongren si jo 2019 dina report tau gibani aduga square shape rampart and Nongpokathin manbi si jo ina tau gibani 2019 hojibakta mat rampart the si manakta lip kenosna we left ki picture sina ngasagi rampart gi palli dugi mathak tu ne ba si parts. Four of them are on the bank of the river. One is within 1 kilometer of sector burial site. Highly sigi fangiba mayam je sector gi phumamiyo pham singudagi 1 kilometer manung da phangeba. Haikam mapagi hui sida ayekpada uje. Painting by Yunam Sapa 2025. Sigi haikam mapagi se left uje haikam mapagi se kano sector gi huzik tawhai dugi Tauri excavated site to the one within 1 kilometer manung da lairami aduga atai sangom fujru gi twin mandala laira and then sangom mangi laira somna kanda nongre laira yam nakna bam pham da loi lairami hai tare sigi se aduna aina thaja badi sigi sector gi phumami ba kangu siga siga mari laina ngani hause yamna thajani ngai oi hai tare haidi sigi manung da bak moise city state ki model da lairam doi manba gi mowong wi Sina star shape ni kaino do lai ra aduga sina semai do lai ra parameters 1.95 kilometer ni area na 46.51 acre ni sigi se semai gi mana cover to areas and the maglang gi lai ra mana cover to areas 56.43 acre ni parameter na 2 kilometer ni ai ta yam chawom pham ni sin aduga haikang mapal gi lai the Fuzu Gila, Fuzu as I entering Mapandiani left Kisna. Rosina, very interesting one. Sina Rajishona, my second World War Tizen, but Maria research aerial photography, the tiny 1944 aerial photography, the Imphal Peninsula. Sina semi twin Rampart taken in 1944. Sigi can also say Sigi small man, but we see root chida high ancient roots ki lambi the labor ki example currently 9th century is in a Mahastan Gargi Bangladesh ki later Maglangi later do Sinabagan gine Burma gine do quite right kishina Indonesia gi Borobodhogin. The other topic that we text and literary sources. Conflict between Kangla people and the Sekta people. Let's take a look at the Sekta Gumba. Sagapta 996-1074 CE. The Maidingu Luyum Bananing Tawoi. Mahak Tak Talagamiga, Lalu Karambadagi, Mina Akchaduna, Lai Makai Mankare, Midana Silawe. Mahak Tanga to Topa, Satu Topa, Palam Malay. Piu Hibada Pida Duna. Mabai amom ningthau bu lan sukna haluye sektangame lan di chak patau angkom tau asina chingwa mi taruk phare haidi sina ta pari sigi aham record ne sekta balambagi pigi sechang gumba bada 11th century 12th century the sekta people and the people kanglada leba mi singiga conflict ki report che sigi pikpa yamna kitang record tong bosi dum Tinava Kangbangame Haidare. The last Sakpalai battle. The Masagi 12th century Hopa conflict, it continues up to 17th century. Accidental find in 2021 at Thobal Kaibung revealed a secondary burial site, likely belonged to the Chakra people of the Segmai who were defeated and relocated to Thobal Kaibung by King Paikumba. Since 2021 we COVID ki yam kanna tawring matung da phang gi ne ai tare aduga sigi phang bajai samang seservi aduga sigi artifact myam sidi akoi khangna ba imung am dai phang gi ni mai mayum tawthok da aduga maitei pangan gi imung am da phang gi ni adu moi gi mafam je thaina gi chakpa gi sigi lan ji da pai ko matam da sokna gi lan ji da Maithira Chapel like and go Mayamsi, the settled on Jiva, the Moji Pum area will let me. Masi Yum Toko the Yungi Kunyato with the Pange, the CC rescue in a archaeology department, artificial rescue the Vishigi. The CC a quick text on Yam Bakan as I told Gabunje, Smiley and Hedi, Takomatam, Tahaniva, Lance on Tahaniva from name. My conclusive argument nama thamjarang ai sigi findings me amadi sigi kenomyam se gi matungda haida. In the 12th century CE, the Proto-Meitei Chakpa Lai Loi Tat Chek Chak, architect of the Chekta urban culture, builder of the mandala set Rampart, and practitioner of gold and copper marks secondary burial, came into conflict with another Proto-Meitei group based in present-day Kangla. This group was horse rider and were politically influenced by the Mongol and the Thai Shan people. The amalgamation of these two groups, along with the absorption of successive wave of migration along the southern sea route from the east and the west, ultimately gave birth to the present-day Meitei community, where this is a simplified account. Exploring deeper into the history is crucial for understanding ancient Manipur. Interestingly, many of our word-related terms, such as Loi Chanba, subjugations, Loi Khomba, tribute, Loi Sheng, department of war captives, and Loyalam originated from the conflict of these two Proto-Meitei groups. Kublai Khan's Mughal force invaded Upper Burma in 1277 CE and destroyed Bagan in 1287. However, the Mughal did not stay in Burma for long. The Thai Shan people from Yunnan, who came with the Mongol, spread out across the Irrawaddy Valley, San State, Laos, Siam, Assam, and Manipur. They become power player in the shaping the history of mainland Southeast Asia. Rancham Sira, I can presentation.
Okay.